Hey, I have a confession. I'm 71 years old and I've spent most of my life working as a janitor at a university. And I have a strange weakness. Young women. I know. At my age. Maybe that's exactly why. When you're young yourself, youth doesn't seem remarkable. You think it's going to last forever. Then one morning you look in the mirror and there's an old man looking back at you. But here, I'm surrounded by youth every day. I see them coming back from tennis practice, from the swimming pool, from the gym, hair tied back, faces flushed from exercise, laughing with their friends, completely full of life. And I notice them, more than an old man probably should. But what fascinates me most isn't what I see, it's what they leave behind, their scent. Perfume alone doesn't interest me. Perfume comes from a bottle. I'm fascinated by the little traces that belong to a particular person. Shampoo, soap, laundry detergent, perfume mixed with the warmth of a long workout. And I remember exactly how it started. Her name was Mina, a Korean student. She played tennis almost every afternoon. I used to see her walking back through the lobby carrying her racket, usually talking to her friends and laughing about something. One evening, after practice, I was cleaning near the locker room when I found something she'd forgotten. A white camisole. Still damp from tennis practice. I knew immediately that it was hers because I'd seen her wearing it earlier. I should have taken it to Lost and Found. Instead, I stood there holding it. And for the first time, I became conscious of something I'd apparently been noticing for years without admitting it. Scent, not perfume, something much more personal. The faint mixture of shampoo, detergent, deodorant, perfume, and perspiration that belonged specifically to the person who'd been wearing it. I took the camisole home. I remember sitting alone that night thinking about one simple fact. Mina doesn't know I have this. That thought did something to me. The following afternoon, I saw her at the front desk. She was asking whether anybody had found something she'd left after tennis. I walked straight past her. Then she noticed me. "Hi, Mr. Harris." She smiled. I smiled back. "Afternoon, Mina." That tiny exchange stayed in my head all night. She had no idea. That's how it began. Soon I started noticing other forgotten things. Hair ties, scarves, gym clothes, wristbands, little personal objects that most people wouldn't even bother stealing. Money never interested me. I wanted things that were personal, things carrying some tiny trace of the person who owned them. But Mina remained different, because she was the first. I started noticing her schedule. Tennis on Tuesdays and Thursdays, gym on Saturday mornings, coffee before class, dinner with the same group of friends. I knew these things without ever asking her a single question. Then one evening, I saw her leave the building with her friends, and I crossed another line. I entered her room. I remember closing the door behind me and simply standing there. My heart was pounding. This wasn't a locker room anymore. This was her world. Her shoes were neatly lined beneath the bed. Her jacket hung from the back of a chair. There were photographs beside her laptop. Her hairbrush sat on the dresser. A little bottle of perfume beside it. Suddenly, those ordinary objects seemed extraordinarily personal. I picked up the hairbrush, then the perfume, then a wristband she'd worn to the gym. I put them in my pockets. Standing there, I realized that my fascination had changed. It wasn't merely scent anymore. It was access. I could enter someone's private world, take some tiny piece of it, and disappear again. The next morning, Mina saw me. "Good morning, Mr. Harris." "Good morning." She smiled. I remember watching her walk away and thinking, "You have absolutely no idea." That feeling became addictive. After that, I became bolder. There was a Chinese student who went running almost every evening, a Japanese tennis player, another woman who practically lived at the gym, another who played volleyball. I began recognizing people by the little traces they left behind. Different shampoos, different perfumes, different laundry detergents. Sometimes I'd walk into an empty hallway and know who had passed through minutes earlier. It became my private little world, and there were close encounters. Of course there were. Once I was somewhere I absolutely wasn't supposed to be when I heard footsteps approaching. Then a key entered the lock. My blood turned cold. I slipped into the bathroom just before the door opened. She came inside talking on her phone. I stood completely still. For several minutes I could hear her moving around on the other side of the door. I remember thinking, this is it. 20 years of being the harmless old janitor were about to disappear. Then she left again. The door closed. Silence. I waited before slipping back into the corridor. When I reached my car, my hands were trembling so badly I couldn't put the key into the ignition. I sat there trying to calm myself down. And then, I smiled. That's when I knew how far I'd gone. Nearly getting caught hadn't frightened the habit out of me. It made the habit stronger. The danger became part of the attraction. Every year I grow older. That's the strange thing about working at a university. I change. They don't. Every autumn another generation arrives. Young women carrying suitcases into the residence halls, meeting new friends, joining tennis clubs, going running, discovering who they're going to become. Meanwhile, I'm still here. Older, quieter, more invisible than the year before. And invisibility is useful. People underestimate old men. Nobody notices the janitor pushing his cart down the hallway. Nobody wonders why he's standing near an elevator. Nobody remembers seeing him outside the gym. I'm practically part of the building. Sometimes one of the women will lose something and actually ask me for help. "Mr. Harris, have you seen my wristband?" I'll shake my head. "No, but I'll check lost and found." "Thank you." That word always gets me. Thank you. Sometimes the thing she's asking about is already sitting inside my apartment. I've kept everything. Mina's white camisole is still there, the first thing I ever took. Then the hair ties, gym clothes, hairbrushes, wristbands, little personal objects, things nobody else would consider valuable. Occasionally, I open the boxes and remember exactly where each object came from. I remember the person, the hallway, the night, the risk. Sometimes I wonder why I keep doing it. I'm 71. Surely there comes an age when a man is supposed to stop noticing young women. Maybe there doesn't. Maybe you simply become better at hiding that you notice. And I've become very, very good at hiding things. 23 years I've worked here. 23 years of smiling, holding doors, changing light bulbs, cleaning floors, being the harmless grandfatherly janitor everybody trusts. Tomorrow I'll wake up and put on the same uniform. I'll push my cart through the university doors. I'll hear laughter coming from the gym. Sooner or later, someone will come back from tennis practice. She'll probably smile at me. "Morning, Mr. Harris." And I'll smile back. "Morning." Then she'll walk right past me without giving the old man another thought. That's my favorite part. Nobody suspects me. Nobody knows what I've been doing all these years. And I have absolutely no intention of stopping.